Mr. Chairman, sir, in the life of this House, today is a very important occasion. We are today bidding farewell to you, sir, after you've completed 10 years as a very distinguished chairperson of this House. 10 years is indeed a very long association, and therefore it's also for both you and also the members of this House a very nostalgic occasion. You had, before becoming a chairperson of this House, as the Vice President of India, experience in various fields of public life. You had been a very distinguished diplomat. You had chaired important commissions, committees, universities. But dealing with the political fraternity was a different experience altogether. And that's an experience which you had in a different capacity as a chairperson of this House. I, of course, am one of the few fortunate members who, through your tenure, dealt with you, or you dealt with us for each of these 10 years that we were members of this House and you were the chairperson. The chairperson's job is a very challenging job in this House, for the reason that this House, unlike in the 1950s and the 60s, now has a changed character. It really reflects the strength of the parties in the states. It really reflects the strength of the parties in the states. And therefore, those sitting on either side keep changing. And as my friend Sitaram always mentions, those in the middle keep sitting there. And in fact, their role always remains the same. The content of their speeches also remains the same, irrespective of who's sitting on otherwise the either side of the House. I say this for a particular feature, that the character of this House is that things start with a lot of acrimonious debate, noise, disruptions. But eventually you would have seen during your tenure that nothing remains indefinitely held up. At the end of the day, the system of political consensus works in this House. And irrespective of who's in government, who's in opposition, a consensus is eventually reached. And in forcing that convention, the flexibility which the chair has at its command does play a role which eventually does force that consensus. As I said, a chairman's job is also a thankless job. It's a mixed job because you take the good with the not so good. And we've seen that at times when we members have disrupted the House, your anguish was visible. It was more visible in your concluding statements at the end of the session. But then this House also has a tendency to work overtime when it starts working and cover up for all the lost time and do both the official business and the debates itself. Your tenure may have seen disturbances, but it also saw a very high quality of debates on several occasions. And I'm sure we will all relish those debates, and you will carry with you memories of those debates itself. Your tenure had many interesting anecdotes. I only remember one of them, when in an exasperation you called us a federation of anarchists. And then, rather than take offense to it, some of us, and I was one of the culprits in that, we wanted the chair to set up a precedent of expunging its own remarks. You used that as an opportunity for a democratic debate on whether there is anything objectionable in the word anarchist. And the debate took an interesting dimension whether anarchists can at all have a federation, because each anarchist is a solo player who plays for himself and can never join others. The debate didn't end, but I do recollect that you carried the memory of that debate. And a few days ago, you called me and actually found yourself vindicated, where somebody in the world, the anarchists, had actually formed a federation. And you thought that it was a vindication of your use of the language itself. I'm sure you retired from this house with great memories. We all recollect the sage advice that you kept giving to us and through us to the country from time to time. I wish you, sir, all the best. We'll always have memories of you as the chair and how you lent dignity to the quality of debates in this house while presiding over it. We wish you very good health and many, many more years in the service of this country. Thank you very much, sir, for all that you've done.